Hello folks, this is Sullla once again. Welcome to another video for League of Legends, and in this video we're going to be looking at Pantheon, as played here in one of our YouTube night games by Electrik. This is taken, as I said, from one of our custom games, so we're going to be focusing on Pantheon. There have actually been a lot of requests to do a Pantheon video. I haven't had the chance to do one because I haven't had any good Pantheon gameplay footage, but this actually turned into a very entertaining game with a lot of interesting stuff on both sides. So, alongside Electrik in this game, we're going to be having me, Sullla, jungling as Sejuani. We also have Emilio 421 supporting as Taric, Giga Sion playing as Misfortune, and Jacob the One playing as Akali. Then on the other side, on the red side of the map, we have Igo Elmo, who is jungling as Udyr. We have Frost Cute Girl playing as Tryndamere. We have High Legend playing as Ezreal, Kirby Zilla supporting as Thresh, and Penguin Preacher, who's playing as LeBlanc. So we'll be watching those matchups, and we'll be keeping an eye on what happens as we go through this matchup. Now, Pantheon, as a champion, don't see him played too often, generally speaking. He has been used a little bit in competitive play at times. Like a sort of, I don't quite want to say a counter pick, but we have seen him used as times. Been used very rarely as a jungler, has been used as a mid laner a couple times. Not with any consistent success, I would say, but he has shown up at times. As far as champions go, he is, of course, a melee AD, deals all physical damage. Pantheon has a very strong early game. His weakness is he tends to not be very strong in late game. He is sort of known for having a weak late game, so he oftentimes will get off to a good start, but then doesn't really hold up as the game goes along. So the challenge for Pantheon players is they need to have a strong laning phase, and generally speaking Pantheon does. He's quite a lane bully, but then the challenge of trying to continue that through the rest of the game, because Pantheon needs to be able to deal damage to do his job. He needs to build quite a lot of damage in order to be effective, but as a melee AD who doesn't have much of anything in the way of range skills, he then also faces the risk of, if he doesn't build tankiness, he just tends to get blown up immediately in any kind of team fight situation. So he's much better at duels and skirmishes than he is in sort of a full-blown team fight. And we'll try and see if we can deal with that as this game goes on. Okay, so what's going on right now? Well, we saw that their team was down at around our red buff. We saw that their jungler, Igo Elmo, who's playing Jungle Udyr, was down around our red earlier. We thought that they were probably starting at my red, so we opted to go and start at their red. That actually was not the case. They did back off and go to blue, but we also figured that Elmo would probably try to look to steal my blue buff, so we kind of figured that in. So I'm going to go ahead and take the red, and then I'm going to go to my blue, and we're expecting that Elmo will now go ahead and go to my red, and that is in fact what happened, as it turned out. So we're going to end up swapping, each going to get a red and a blue, and we'll just go from there. So no advantage to either jungler really from this. We just ended up trading our red buffs. So that was kind of a win for me, because Udyr is much stronger early on in the jungle, much better at dueling. If there's a 1v1 fight between us, then Udyr is going to win that fight. So anyway, that was the only early action. Let's now go ahead and look back at Pantheon, shall we? So we'll go through, highlight his skills, and look at, well, what exactly this champion does. Here's his passive, Aegis Protection. After attacking or casting spells 4 times, he will block the next incoming basic attack or turret attack. So actually right now the Aegis is up. Anytime you see that little glowing yellow, anytime the shield starts glowing yellow like that, that means that he will block the next basic attack. This is one reason why Pantheon tends to do a little bit better against melee ADs, that sort of thing. He doesn't do as well against spellcasters because his shield isn't that useful against them, since it blocks auto attacks, it doesn't block spells. So Pantheon generally doesn't do as well against an AP caster like LeBlanc here in mid. Okay, anyway, but that's his passive. By the way, it does block tower shots too. In case you missed that, it will block the next incoming tower shot. So he can actually pull off some interesting tower diving stuff too. Okay, go through his initial run of skills. The one that he usually levels up first is his Q, Spear Shot. Pretty basic, low cooldown. Actually right here, Penguin's going to jump in, and he's actually going to get the first blood as Electrik was harassed down. And I'm sorry, Electrik, I know you specifically said after this game that the first 5 minutes were not too good, but I have to show the first 5 minutes in order to get to the rest of the game, which was, in fact, quite good. So, yes. Got harassed down by LeBlanc and bursted down. Okay. Again, skills. We'll go back to highlight the Q again. Spear Shot, very basic. tosses a spear at the opponent, deals physical damage, and the scaling is pretty solid. It looks like it's about a 0.4 scaling off of AD. So this is his main trading skill in lane. You can see it's on a very short cooldown, only 4 seconds. You toss a spear and it deals physical damage. This is why people generally try to stack armor against Pantheon, because it reduces the amount of harass that they're taking from his spear shot. And you generally just spam this, and that's just spamming this skill is enough to win a lot of lanes for Pantheon. So like I said, this is usually the skill that people tend to max first on Pantheon, and we'll see if Electrik is going to max his first. Yes, he is. So this is what allows him to trade with his opponents. Okay, his W, Aegis of Zeonia, I don't know how you pronounce that, leaps at the target enemy, deals magic damage, and stuns them. So there it is. There's the jump in. Got the stun, and right there, the LeBlanc chain is going to hit as well. Penguin Preacher's gone back. He now has 2 Dorans and an Amp Tome, so he has quite a bit of AP. And Electrik goes in and makes the mistake right there. Goes back in and ends up getting killed. So remember when I said the first 5 minutes were not good in this game? Well, that was why. And I remember jungling, I was like, oh no, this is not good, because we just had a death in top lane. We've had 2 deaths in mid, and their bottom lane, if you look down here, their bottom lane was also winning by a lot. So at this point, wasn't looking so great in this game. It's like, uh-oh, this is not a good sign. But never fear, things would in fact even out, and this turned into quite a nice matchup. Okay. Again, the W, this is his stun, jumps on the target enemy, stuns them for 1 second, and it also refreshes his passive, his Aegis protection. So that's actually quite important to keep in mind, because you can block an auto attack, and then use your W, and then block another auto attack, or a tower shot. So this generally, I don't remember if this gets a longer stun duration for more points in the skill. I will have to keep an eye on this. I'm afraid I don't play Pantheon, and I didn't go and check all of his numbers in like the League of Legends wiki before playing this, so I'll have to double check. But pretty simple. This sets up his other skills. A very basic Pantheon combo is to toss the spear, jump on them with your Aegis, get the stun, and then immediately follow it up with Heartseeker. So let's look at Heartseeker, shall we? This skill, in earlier workings of Pantheon, there was a time when Pantheon was one of the strongest champs in the game. In earlier workings of Pantheon, this was sort of his main damage skill, but now it's his Q, his spear shot, that's generally the main one. Anyway, passive, basic attack and spear shot gain 100% critical strike chance against targets below 15% health, so guaranteed crit against a very low health target. That's not just the basic attack, but the spear shot as well. So Pantheon very good at finishing people off when they're low. Get that crit. Active, Pantheon focuses, deals 3 swift strikes in front of him for physical damage, deals double damage to champions. The reason why it's like that is they actually nerfed this in the past. They kept the damage the same against champions. They halved it for minions because his wave clear was a little too good at various points in time in the past. So anyway, again, that's the Heartseeker right there. So again, his basic combo is to jump on someone with W and then use Heartseeker while they can't dodge out of the way. You get all those quick strikes with the spear. And then finally, Pantheon's ultimate, Grand Skyfall. Pantheon gathers his strength, leaps high into the air, crashes down a few seconds later, deals up to 400 magic damage at the center, down to 50% at the edge, and slows their movement speed for 1 second. So he jumps up really high in the air, and then he comes down and deals a lot of damage to whoever he hits on the ground. It's more of a repositioning skill than a true damage skill. You're generally not going to do that much with the actual damage on this skill, unless someone on the other team unless you manage to set up a situation where the whole enemy team is crowd controlled. But it's somewhat similar to a Twisted Fate ultimate. In a lot of ways, Pantheon's a bit like an attack damage version of Twisted Fate, whereas Twisted Fate is ability power, he is attack damage, deals physical damage, not magic, and we'll see that at some times in this game. Anyway, what happened in sort of the larger context of the game is Elmo ran in and he took my blue buff while I was getting my own red. So right now, Penguin Preacher's LeBlanc has their blue, and Elmo has our team's blue buff. So weren't able to get that. And unfortunately, he was able to just run in and counter jungle that. I had gone to the red. If you remember, he took our red earlier. I went to our red thinking that he was going to try to steal the red, but Elmo faked me out and went to our blue instead. And so their team ended up getting 3 of the 4 buffs, and we only got 1. So that's going to put him further ahead. And of course, he also got a kill. So they're winning that jungler matchup right now, if you check, by about 400 gold, and that's quite a bit this early in the game. Their team's also ahead by about 1,000 global gold. In this lane, Penguin has, of course, gotten ahead due to those 2 early kills, and he's been bullying around Electrik in this lane. So right now, going to jump in and get in a ton of damage on Electrik right there. Jumped in with Distortion. Anyway, I'm just lurking around right here because I'm expecting Penguin to go back in and look to try to get this kill. Electrik's drinking from his flask, so again, I'm looking to try to... I'm assuming that Penguin's going to jump in and try to get this kill. It's just too tempting. The hope is that Electrik can stun him with his W underneath the tower, and that we'll be able to go from there and try to get a kill out of this. So just expecting the fight to come in any second now. So wait for it. Wait for it. And here we go. Gonna jump in, get silenced, stunned under the tower. Gonna use the ultimate coming in from Sejuani. Unfortunately, it's already too late. Penguin, where his cooldowns, needs one more second for Distortion, but no, not gonna be able to blink out of there. Jacob, playing Akali, comes down from top lane. He ultimately gets that kill. So we end up trading 1 for 1, but our team comes out ahead there, largely because we got 2 assists, and we also got a shutdown on a killing spree. So that worked out pretty well for us in mid. Now, unfortunately, while that was going on, Almo went to bottom lane, and their team was able to, well, get a couple kills there. So their team also made a play in bottom lane while that was going on as well. There is one other sign of good news, though, is Electrik finally had enough gold to get his first item, and he picked up this Hex Drinker. 25 attack damage, 25 magic resist. Passive Lifeline on taking magic damage that reduces you below 30% health. Grants them 250 magic damage shield, and that's on a 90-second cooldown. So this was a very, very good itemization choice for Electrik. He needed the magic resist. It gives him both more attack damage, which he needs to trade, gives him extra MR, also useful for trading, and that extra shield when he gets low is really crucial for laning against LeBlanc. So this was a really good choice, and we're going to see how that helps him out enormously in turning around this particular lane, which has gone strongly in favor of Penguin Preacher. Again, you can see 0-3-1, 49 minion kills, 3-1, 78, but the Hex Drinker would in fact make a big difference. Anyway, there is a fight down here on bot. I'll go ahead and show this. We were able to come in when their team didn't have much in the way of wards. However, now we have to back off because Igo almost counter-ganking. Popped his ghost right there. In comes the angry man-bear-tiger. And we're going to need to be able to get out of this. It's a nice flash and a nice stun coming out from Emilio. And right here, is anyone going to die? As it turns out, no. We're just going to disengage. Meanwhile, here is the fight between Penguin and Electrik. Right there, did you see that? Blocked it with his passive. Let's go ahead and watch this fight again because this is crucial. Okay, right there, LeBlanc gets the initial combo off. Electrik goes really low, but there is the Hex Drinker shield. A full Heartseeker goes off. Right now, Electrik's about to die, but he flashes back, and right there, the auto attack gets blocked. And remember, the Spear Strike crits when you get low, so the Hex Drinker completely turning around that fight. And Electrik got 2 uses of his passive. He got the initial block on Aegis Protection, got 1 auto attack blocked early in the fight, got a second block after he used his W stun. So the Hex Drinker, the full 250 bonus health, ended up being enough for Electrik to win that literally by 1 auto attack. And again, that was a fight that Penguin initiated. Actually got off a full LeBlanc combo at the beginning. Here comes a Pantheon ult into bottom lane. Going to jump in, and that's going to turn into 1 kill on Thresh. Now High Legend's going to try to escape. Heartseeker comes out. Is it going to turn into another kill? Well, we'll keep an eye on this. High's using the brush to his advantage, but out comes the Sejuani. Slow, misses the stun, but High's low, and then the auto attack. And the spear, actually that was a spear that got the finish off. So we were able to combo the skills together, and that turned into a 2 for 1. So Electrik just ended up getting a lot of gold there. And looky here, we have a pink at dragon. So we're going to go ahead and look to take this dragon. It is a risky dragon because everyone's quite low, but did just get a double kill in their bottom lane. We can see mid, can see if Penguin's on his way roaming down here. So if we do this and do it fast, we should be able to get out. By the way, nice ward again from Electrik right there. That'll give us vision in case LeBlanc tries to come in. So we're going to take this, and now we just need to get out. We really don't want to fight this because everybody's still low. We've been fighting for quite some time. Now we just, again, need to try to get out of there. Electrik's his Hex Drinker has popped again, but he will fall there. And now Giga Sion needs to escape, but he has managed to make it back to a tower. Thank goodness this tower is still here. Here comes LeBlanc, though. Oh, no! I was just trying to place a ward. No! And, yeah, the turret heal, not going to be enough on that one. Exhaust needed to come out a lot sooner in that fight, but we were able to get MF out. So, got the dragon, but suffered 2 kills on sort of the follow-up play to that. Who comes out ahead? It's relatively even overall. Relatively even as a result of that. Still, Electrik was able to get quite a bit of gold. He's 2-4-2 on the game right now, but that's a lot better than 0-3, which is what he was before. And that's given him enough gold to pick up a Brutalizer, and this is one of Pantheon's core items. It's not just the attack damage, but the cooldown reduction, hugely useful on Pantheon, and the armor pen, extremely useful as well. Armor pen, a very big deal. We actually have another fight going on over at the blue. We both know that our team's blue is up. Note that I cannot possibly duel Elmo. He's 3 levels higher, and he's Udyr. Gonna go in and initiate this fight, but Penguin Preacher's there as well. However, this is a fight that we want because Jacob is roaming down from top lane. So Penguin's going to get quite low. He's been ignited, so that's going to be a kill. We end up going 1 for 1, so that wasn't too bad overall. Could have been better, but wasn't so bad as a result of that. And now Elmo, look at this, going to sneak right back in. I had assumed that he had gone back to lane after that fight. Because we actually saw him run out over this ward, but as soon as he ran past that ward, he circled around, came right back in, and is going to do the Golem, which by the way has become invisible for some reason, but gets the Golem once again. There's another fight going on in bottom lane, so let's go ahead and rewind so we can see that. This is a battle going on in bottom lane between both bottom lane sides. It's being won by the red side right here. High Legend's going to pop that barrier, but in comes Pantheon. He is going to jump in, and actually Taric gets the kill on Ezreal, but Electrik's going to get the kill on the Thresh, so that ends up being a 2 for 1 as well. And that is one situation where the Pantheon ult came in very, very handy indeed. Again, as I said before, much like the way that Twisted Fate will use his ult. Jumps in behind a 2v2 fight, turns it into a 3v2, picks up some kills on the back end of that. One of the real problems for us in this game, though, was I go Elmo's Udyr, which is getting ridiculously strong in this game. He's already 201 on the game, is level 11 to my 8, and has just... I mean, I think he's actually tied for highest level in the game as jungler right now. He's actually a higher lane than their mid laner, their AP mid. So was just running around like crazy and has, well, a huge gold lead in the jungle position. Elsewhere, top lane, fortunately, we were winning top lane. Jacob's Akali was winning out over Frostcute Girl's Tryndamere, and we kind of needed that because otherwise we would have been in deep trouble in this game with their team winning the jungle spot, and they're also ahead in bottom lane, I believe. It's close in bot, but their team's a little bit ahead. Anyway, Electrik's going back. Let's see what he's going to pick up right here. He... apparently picking up... oh, he picked up Merc Treads there. Okay. Another pretty good choice. Their team has quite a bit of magic damage. It's not just the LeBlanc. Remember, Udyr is going Phoenix style. 5 points in Phoenix stance, so he's dealing magic damage as well. There's a fight going on in bot, so let's keep an eye on this. Taric's going to get pulled in. That's going to initiate the fight. Is that True Shot going to finish him off? No. So we're going to look to turn and see if we can get Thresh. Thresh will fall. In comes Udyr, though, so now it's turned into a 3v3 again. Out comes the ult onto Ezreal, and it's actually a good MF ult as well from Giga Sion. Meanwhile, here comes LeBlanc. LeBlanc, we see her walking in over a ward, so it's like, get out, and then poor Emilio, for some reason, turns back to the tower, and that quick little hesitation there means LeBlanc is dining on Taric soup tonight. So that's going to be a kill for them, and it's also going to be a bottom lane tower. So both supports die, but their team got a tower out of it, so their team comes out a little bit ahead in that overall exchange. And we were able to get a little push in mid, Electrik's Pantheon getting some damage, but saw that Penguin Preacher was roaming back up to mid. Penguin does have a Deathfire Grasp, by the way, which is like LeBlanc's key item. So Penguin can pretty much burst down just about anyone if he gets off a full combo right now. And that means that Electrik does have to be careful. But he now does have enough magic resist that he's not going to die immediately. And his spear harass is quite high. So there's the jump in. A nice W plus the Heartseeker. And does not get fooled by the clone. Is going to pick that up. Once again, Hexdrinker triggering in the fight. And that magic resist, just enough to allow him to survive. Goes down to 70 HP but does not die. And ends up winning that 1v1 fight. It was a nice stun on the W on the, what's this, the Aegis of Zeonia. A nice stun on that, and a full Heartseeker combo to get damage off right there. That means Electrik's going to have to go back, though. He's very low, should probably not stick around. I will hold this lane. And Electrik is apparently just going to shove another minion wave to the tower. He might need a little bit more gold to pick up an item here. I'm not quite sure. But has now started to win these trades with LeBlanc, if you'll notice. Remember how before he was just dying? But now has enough magic resist that is not actually going to die. Bottom lane not going so well. Remember, bottom lane does not have a tower here to protect them. So Giga Sion was taken out. And Emilio, there's not really a whole lot he can do. He's Taric. And it's really hard to get away, but fortunately, actually does make it back to the tower. Somewhat surprising. I did not think that was going to work. Anyway, there's another fight going on in mid. These two are dueling yet again, and Electrik's going to pick up that kill yet again. Let's go back and watch this one once again because we kind of missed that. It looked like Electrik. Actually, he didn't go back to base, but he's going to jump on, get the stun, use the Heartseeker right there. Is going to block an auto attack and gets a kill. Wow, did that quite easily right there. It's very surprising. Actually picks up a blue buff in the process. So this middle lane has just swung at this point. A little mistake there from Penguin. Did not use his Deathfire. It might have been still on cooldown while that was going on, but didn't get off the Deathfire grasp. And as I said, this matchup has just swung in mid, and now it is in favor of Electrik. He's been able to pick up a BF sword. That's almost certainly going towards a Bloodthirster, which is another core item on Pantheon. And yeah, fortunately for my team, for blue side, we needed this matchup. We needed to win this matchup because we weren't winning in bot and we weren't winning in jungle. So that was something we needed. On the game in total, top lane is winning for blue side. Jacob is ahead. Again, I'll pull up the gold totals. Ahead by roughly 1,000 gold right there in the top lane on Akali. In the jungle, it's being won by the red team. Elmo is way ahead of me. He's 1,500 gold ahead of me, so not too much to say there. Look at his health bar here. He's got 3,000 health already at the 19-minute mark. Anyway, though, he is a little bit behind our team, so we're going to run into him there, but is it going to turn into a larger fight? No, not really. Just going to disengage. Poor Taric walked into the middle of their team and got blown up again. So this means that their team's going to get Dragon. We can't stop them from getting Dragon. They have a man advantage. Or actually, maybe we can. We'll see. Be a very difficult fight, though, because they do have positioning on us, and we actually are going to give them that Dragon. We did take mid-turret while that was going on. Down goes Jacob. Is Electrik going to be able to get a kill? Let's see. He really wants it. Okay, he is going to get a kill on Penguin's LeBlanc, but that was not a great fight for us. Is Giga going to be able to get out? He needs to flash this wall, and no, he actually failed to flash over the wall. So he is going to... well, actually, he's still not dead yet. I had to use the Sejuani ult just to disengage. And, oh, MF, you have Strut, but it's not going to be enough. Oh, who's going to get the finishing blow here? Oh, still running. This is a pretty epic chase right here. Wow, how is this fight still going on? And there's the execute, or not the execute, as Igo Elmo is going to get credit for that kill. So that was a very, very lengthy chase, but did not work out. And honestly, we would have done better just to give them Dragon there. It was just not a good fight. We had lost Taric before the fight even started. And I'm going to be very difficult for me to outsmite Elmo when he's 2 to 3 levels higher than me. So we really would have done better just to give them that. We did get mid-tower, but that was kind of the only really strong play that we got out of that. And overall, situation, that didn't help us. That has given their team about a 4K gold lead. They have a pretty healthy lead at this point in time. We're really relying on Pantheon and Akali to try to win these fights for us because the rest of the team is fairly weak overall. Another turret goes down. They grouped, are able to get mid turret. So they have all the outer turrets right now. They actually have 2 turrets down on top because Tryndamere is doing what Tryndamere tends to do in late game. And we're not quite in late game yet, but he's just going to be split pushing up in top lane, and that's about it. So anyway, gonna jump in here. Jacob goes in, but he's gonna get blown up by their team. Yep, that Deathfire Grasp on LeBlanc gives him quite a lot of burst damage. And now in bottom lane, High Legend strong enough to 1v2 because he's gotten far enough ahead. The new Trinity is really good on Ezreal. We're gonna keep an eye on this fight over here. Nope, actually never mind. Doesn't turn into a fight. Just ended up Tryndamere backing off. So at this point, their team's lead is now 6,000 gold, and we are really not in a good position right now. We've got Tryndamere split pushing in top lane. We've got an Ezreal who we can't 1v1, and we've got a monstrous Udyr who's absolutely terrifying on this game. 306, just getting stronger and stronger all the time. Plus a LeBlanc who can pretty much one-shot just about anyone on the team. So yeah, we're not in a great position at this particular moment. And Aranduin's just coming out now from Elmo. So yeah, he's just going to have that much more. He's 3,200 health right now, 160 armor. So yeah, it's not pretty. But we need their team to, you know, get caught out in mistakes, overextend too far, get caught pushing too far forward. If we don't get that, then prospects are a bit grim at this moment, being down so much gold. But we do have the ability to, catch people out. We have a team that's very good in skirmishes, not so much good in a full-on team fight, but like Akali's really good in 1v1 and 2v2s. Pantheon's quite good in 1v1 and 2v2s. So if we can, manage to get some sort of small fights that are to our advantage, then maybe we'll be able to turn this one around and get something out of it. So that's our hope anyway. The idea being ward up the map and try to catch them in mistakes. That's pretty much always the plan when you get behind, is get yourself good ward coverage and, well, try to catch them in a bad position. Much like Hai has caught Emilio in a bit of a bad position here, so they're going to look to fight this, but this is not a good fight for our team. Remember, there's no towers back behind our team, so Hai has snowballed far in front of Gigasign. He's going to get that kill, and now Emilio's going to chase after it, but Ezreal, can you really catch Ezreal when you're a melee champ? No, not really. So this is not going to work out, unfortunately. And it's just a matter of who's going to get this kill. It's going to end up being Kirby-Zilla's Thresh, but yeah, that was just not a fight to pick, basically. You needed to avoid that because, well, this tower's not here, and they're far enough behind that they're just not going to be able to win that fight. We're hoping that we can, that perhaps Electrik and I can pull something off, but we don't have a numbers advantage. Remember, our bottom lane just both died, and yeah, I'm just going to dash out of there with Sejuani Q, her Arctic Assault, as it's called, but going to dash out of there on the boar and be happy to get out. The bottom tower looks like it's going down here. We'd love to fight for this. Can we fight for this, though? Well, maybe. Might be able to. We're going to get the Pantheon ult that's coming in, and they're going to see that. So this is a well-placed Pantheon ult. Who is Electrik going to jump on? I'm going to get the Sejuani ult. We want to focus down Ezreal first, so going to get that kill initially, and that is huge because that's most of their damage. Next, we're going to look to take out Kirby. He will fall next. And then it's onto that monstrously tanky Udyr. Is Elmo going to be able to run out of this one? I don't know. Jacob has come down here. That means there's nobody in top lane defending the Tryndamere split push, by the way, while that's going on. But we would like to get this kill. It's just a question of whether we can get it or not. And Elmo is kind of taunting us into a fight. Again, he's trying to waste time so Tryndamere can keep pushing. Jacob's going to go back to deal with that, and we back off from that. But still, 2 for 1 in our favor in bottom lane, but they got the tower. Emilio goes into 1v1 with LeBlanc, and that was just not a good decision. It will pop the LeBlanc passive, but yeah, not going to turn into anything right there. If you're a support Taric, you really can't be going in and trying to 1v1 with LeBlanc. There is a fight still going on in bottom lane, though, so let's turn and watch this. Electrik's almost out of mana, but he will get the kill and a shutdown on Elmo's Udyr, and that really helped us a lot, both for the, the 300 gold bounty, and also just because we're not dealing with that Udyr pressure for the moment. We get a relief from him shoving that lane for a little bit. So yes, Udyr finally down, raid boss down, as people like to say. And that was helpful. And then right here, we're going to catch them trying to go to our red. Their team was trying to, counter our red, but not going to work out. Gigasan got it first. And we're going to be able to get out of there in time, fortunately. Almost were able to turn that around and get another fight out of it, but not quite. Overall, the gold total is still right around 6k in favor of their team. It's not so much the gold, although that is a problem, as the map total. Note that they have 5 towers down to 1, and Emilio is in true danger yet again, but I think hopefully he's going to be able to get out of this as he continues to try to place wards. Over here, they are going to catch Tryndamere in top lane. Frostcute Girl goes in thinking it's a 1v1. It's not. It's a 2v1 and the most fed members of our team. So as soon as that Endless Rage or Undying Rage, whatever it is, wears off, that's going to be a kill. And the team's going to pick that up and going to get the blue buff, which has gone on to Electrik. By the way, blue is pretty good on Pantheon because he really benefits from the cooldown reduction and also benefits from the ability to spam his abilities. Can definitely run out of mana otherwise. There is another fight being set up down here in bottom lane. Their team is taking drag. We can't really stop that, but what we can do is come over here and try to counter High Legend and Kirby-Zilla. So that's going to be the look to go in right here. High's going to jump backwards right there. He's going to get slowed by Sejuani ult, but not killed. It's a very good MF ultimate. Gets off a full channel duration. In comes Electrik, going to jump in. We still want to get High Legend, but we'll take Kirby's Thresh first. Now we're going to turn and go after Penguin because he is the next most valuable target. Going to blink over the wall so we won't get that. Over here, meanwhile, the fight continues. High is still alive. Giga Scion's going to come back in. Electrik, once again, that Hex Drinker shield's going to pop, keep him alive. And the fight, still continuing. Penguin is low. He's going to dash away. I go Elmo. This is turning into a very extended team fight right there. Penguin's going to get off his combo. but not before he dies. So that's going to be a 1-for-1. High Legend still alive down here. Oh, we just start chasing Ezreal forever. And the duel continues between Pantheon and Udyr. I'm going to fall. I was kited by High Legend. Right there, the Mystic Shot gets blocked by Electrik. And can he use the brush to juke through this fight? Right there, going to jump in. Heartseeker will get the kill on Ezreal. And now Elmo's low. Electrik carrying so hard gets the double kill. Even High Legend saying, geez, you do damage. But yes, that is that. What you're seeing there is the when you're under 15%. Where is it? Yeah, the 100% crit strike chance against targets below 15%. So that's what you're seeing there. And Electrik does have, you know, some hard lockdown with his Aegis. He actually can stun these sort of very high mobility champs for 1 second. And overall, that turned into a really good fight. I can't even keep track of what the numbers were in that fight because it went on for so long. But you look at the gold total, and instead of being 6K, their team's only ahead by 3.5K gold. And we were even able to take some towers as well, now up to 3 tower kills, whereas before we were at 1. That was the top lane tower. And where's the other? Oh, 2 top lane towers. Got 2 top lane towers. I believe that because Jacob was pushing top lane while all that was going on, was able to get some more tower kills. So let's look at Pantheon itemization again. He is now 13.5.3 on the game. So yeah, started 0.3, now 13.5, and has picked up quite a few items. Has turned the Brutalizer into a Black Cleaver, the upgraded version that gives health, more attack damage, and that extra passive where you get the armor shred. Has picked up the Bloodthirster as predicted. Bloodthirster is sort of the key, one of the key AD items on Pantheon because he scales off of AD so heavily. Attack damage, lifesteal, very, very nice item for him. And then also picked up a Guardian Angel, which is a very smart choice as well. For any melee AD, Guardian Angel tends to be a really good item because you have to go right into the middle of fights and you're going to be putting yourself in a ton of danger. Up there in top lane, the duel is on. Jacob is just waiting out the Undying Rage in the smoke cloud. And now the convergence, and that looked very painful for poor Tryndamere, getting jumped on by 3 members of our team. So game is in a very interesting position right now. It's quite close. It's, as I said, 3.5K. And, is Giga going to be able to pick up this kill on Kirby? No, not quite going to be able to get that. So yeah, High Legend low, Kirby's Illa low, but not quite enough. I'm coming down here hoping to do something, but Kirby has this warded up very, very well indeed. So it's going to be awful tough. And then Penguin Preacher's here as well. And, getting caught, being pulled into this fight. And then right there, there's the DFG. LeBlanc's going to come in, and yeah, that was a poor choice of a fight from me playing as Sejuani. Very, very poor use of that engage. Basically just got baited in and then kited by Ezreal, the endlessly kiting champion, as we all know. And by the way, High Legend actually even has a Quicksilver Sash right now, so he'll be able to Quicksilver the Sejuani stun or the Pantheon shield, Aegis shield stun. So that is actually pretty scary for us. Oh, Kirby, you don't know how close you came to being bursted down and killed right there. Penguin, though, going to dive in to get Taric, and was it really worth it to get that kill on support Taric? Probably not. Meanwhile, another kill for Electrik in mid against Tryndamere. Was able to pick up yet another one. And actually, Electrik goes to Legendary off of that kill, dealing a very, very high amount of damage. Even tons of damage even. 312 attack damage. And if you look at that gold total, it is, well, under 3K. So it's sort of been dropping the amount of their lead as this game continues to go on. Their team has got a lot of towers down, but they still have not actually managed to get into our base just yet. And that means as long as that's the case, we still have a shot at this one. Here, Elmo's going to come in to go after our blue, but he walked over a ward. We saw him because we had the blue warded. And so we're going to now look to converge. Now, Elmo is able to see Electrik coming in, but doesn't realize that we have me coming in and Jacob coming in as well. So he's going to pop his Ghost right here, which means we need to use hard crowd control right there. The Sejuani ult is going to be hard crowd control. Another stun coming in from the, the Pantheon W. Pantheon Aegis steal, and then right there, immediately we're like, hey, we should go for Baron, because we just killed their jungler, and that means they have no smite. So even if they want to come in and contest, you know, we've got smite, and they don't, and we can see their bottom lane. Their bottom lane, High Legend and Kirby are down here pushing in bot, so as long as Giga Sion and Emilio can hold this tower, we should be able to get this. And I just have to not miss a smite, basically. My smite deals, what, 940? So as long as I can, you know, use that correctly, we should be safe to do it. Now, they're going to know that we're doing Baron. See, the Ezreal ult flew through, so they know that we're at Baron because that grants vision. But again, As long as I don't screw this up, just watch that health bar. And right there we go. Gonna take the smite. And Electrik's going to jump in. The funny thing is that chain actually tells him exactly which LeBlanc clone is real. So he will flash actually and get that one. And now we're going to pick up the kill on Tryndamere again as soon as his ultimate wears off. So even though their team is getting some kills down here in bottom lane, Giga is low. He's going to fall. And we're going to have to react to this. We're going to have to stop them from shoving bot. But here comes the Pantheon ult. And they're going to need to back out. Oh, Kirby, he will fall instantly to just the damage. And then the Heartseeker comes out. Who is going to win this duel? High Legends pop the barrier. That barrier will block a spear shot. Electrik's going to back off, but I'm coming in from the back side of this. We do still have Baron. So High is going to look to get out of here, but a Q together with a Sejuani ult. If I can just hit this, and yes, going to be able to hit that. And we are going to be able to pick that one up. So that worked out really well for our team. We got Baron. We stopped the push in bottom lane. They didn't get this tower. And we were even able to kill both members of their team. Elmo's going to take this dragon. I believe that they've gotten every... No, we got the first dragon. I was going to say they got every dragon, but we did get the first one. Nonetheless, we did get Baron. And that has essentially evened up the game. They have about a 1,000 gold lead, but we have Baron. So I would say that the game's pretty even. If anything, we're probably ahead at this point in time. So turned into, as I said, quite a good game. Very, very entertaining. Electrik now has picked up another item. He's turned his, he turned his Hex Drinker into Maul of Malmortius, so just more damage, more MR. Gives him a larger shield, a 400 magic damage shield, and this, the Giant's Belt for extra health. He's, I wouldn't say that tanky, but he does have 2,600 health, good armor and magic resist, and look at the damage. With Baron, 382 damage. Over here, we got another little skirmish coming out, and I need to survive, but no, the Ignite, true damage 2 OP. But I screwed that one up really badly because look what wasn't used. Yeah, that would have been a good time to, let me just put it this way. It would have been a good time to use that locket when Ignite is ticking down and you only need like another 100 health to survive. Okay, so Jacob looking to pick a fight here with High Legend. Going to jump in from the smoke cloud. Is he going to be able to get this one? No, not able to. Not quite going to be able to get that one, so that didn't go too well. Yeah, well, Thresh tower damage helps and got the Thresh shield. And oh no, Tarek, you don't want a 1v1 with the Tryndamere, not in late game. And let's see, so Tryndamere will get that kill. Electrik's going to jump in, but I don't know if he's going to be able to chase this down. Wow, that's a really early usage of the Tryndamere Undying Rage. Yeah, really early usage there. So Baron push has not gone that well, kind of stalled out, didn't really get too much out of this, but game is still pretty even overall. Just didn't do a good job as a team of pushing together with that Baron. I could have survived the LeBlanc combo, and then we had to go back to stop Tryndamere split push, and you get the idea that the Baron is, well, I guess we've got about a minute left, so we might still be able to do something with this, but hasn't been used as well as it could have been, certainly. Anyway, let's look again at who's really strong on the enemy teams. Right there, I have to clear out our blue, which has been stolen yet again by Igo Elmo for like the 15th time. If you look at who's really strong on these teams, well, Electrik is obviously quite strong as Pantheon. He's going to get engaged on right here, and oh, it looks like he's going to die, but there's a Sejuani ult to lock up both Ezreal and LeBlanc, so that'll allow Electrik to get out of that, at the cost of my main skill being down for the next roughly a minute or so. Would have been nice to have that, but we didn't want to give away Pantheon. Anyway, in top 1v1, Jacob wins the 1v1. His Akali is indeed ahead of Tryndamere, so he's going to win that one. And right now our team's trying to defend. As I was saying, oh wow, Emilio, I was just trying to place a ward. Every support player knows that feeling all too well. You're just trying to ward, and LeBlanc is licking her lips. She comes away with some more gemstones to add to her staff or whatever. Penguin, we did see Penguin here, so we're going to jump in and we're trying to see if we can burst him down before the rest of the team gets there, and yes, actually we can. Why, yes, that is a pretty fed Akali, so Jacob will be able to burst that down. And I guess we end up trading 1 for 1 because the ward that we got allowed us to end up taking that kill. Anyway, right now we're trying to push mid. Our Baron is out. We no longer have that, and unfortunately we're getting kited by High Legend with his double buff, so you know, as much as we'd like to push in here, we don't have minions, and there's just not a whole lot we can really do without the minions. We also have to deal with Udyr split push. So, just, you know, can we actually get this tower? No, not really. So, unfortunately, you're going to have to back off and, you know, look to try to push again later on. This is one of the problems for our team chronically, because their team keeps split pushing with Udyr and with Tryndamere, so our lanes are always pushed in and it makes it really hard to push. So anyway, Giga's actually doing a pretty good job of trying to kite here against Igo almost Udyr. The Taric stun comes out. It's a good stun. It's going to allow us to chase. The exhaust comes out, and that's going to turn into a kill. 3 assists as well, so we will be able to get that. I don't know, baited? I guess so. I don't think that was a deliberate bait. I think that Gigan just kind of walked into Udyr right there. I don't think that was a deliberate bait. But in any case, Udyr did shove in the side lane, so we're going to have to, once again, waste time trying to clear this before we can do anything. And it looks like our team agrees that that wasn't actually a bait. Meanwhile, in mid, we've got Tryndamere, Ezreal. Actually, we have their entire team other than the deceased Udyr pushing mid right now. That could be the opportunity for a good fight for our team, since their team is grouped up and, well, we have 5 and they have 4 right now, so it wouldn't be the worst fight for us to pick. Baron will be up relatively soon. Hold on, let me get the Baron timer, and yes, I can get a Baron timer from chat. It is up at 39 something, so it's up in less than a minute, and we have to be aware of that. Looks like Tryndamere is going to go off the split push yet again, and the Tryndamere split push is indeed quite annoying. We're going to clear out their ward, but we're hoping that we'll have a chance to maybe win a fight around Baron or something like that. I mean, overall, the game is really evened up at this point. 5-5 in towers, 36-33 in kills. Their team has like 1,000 gold lead, but that, I mean, it basically means the game's even at this point, is essentially what that's telling us. Whoever can take Baron, whoever can get a good team fight, that's what's going to end up mattering here in this fight. And there's wards everywhere around Baron, but Kirby has actually picked up an Oracle, so that gives them a bit of an edge. We are hoping that we might be able to catch him out here, but looks like he's going to be able to get out of this one without any real trouble. Tryndamere, Frostcute Girl, heading back down the bottom lane to split push yet again. And we're going to re-pink Baron and clear their ward yet again. So we're faced with a situation where we're going to have to do something about this Tryndamere split push. But right here, we're going to catch Kirby Sullla coming forward, and that's the signal for us to go in and fight. There is the Taric stun coming out. We're going to jump on Thresh, and he's going to get blown up really fast. So we will take that kill. And Jacob's coming down here to deal with Frostcute Girl. So we now have a 4v3 at Baron, and it's going to turn into an intense fight once again. Going to jump in, Undying Rage, we'll keep him alive, but going to get that kill. Now it's back up here, but again, we have a 4v3. Granted, it's just the support that died, which is not that critical, but we do have a 4v3, and we were actually typing to each other in chat. We're like, look, we're just going to wait for Jacob to come up here, and as soon as he arrives, we're going to look to do Baron, because then we'll have actually a 5-on-3. Not just a 4v3, but a 5v3, because we killed the split pusher, and we killed their support. So once we get Akali here, and Akali's going to get some spell vamp off of these creeps to lifesteal, now we're going to look to do Baron, because, well, if they want to come fight us, we've got a huge numbers advantage. And we've also actually managed to clear out their vision. We have 2 pinks in here. I actually dumped the second pink in the back because I wasn't certain that this pink saw all the way to the back of the Baron pit. But yeah, they had no wards. Right there, oh, the Taric stun! A nice stun on Elmo. That's going to set up the rest of this fight. And we're going to be able to claim that kill. So yes, I know it was a bit of a rough game for Emilio, but that stun really did help us. And now we're going to engage on High Legend. I was able to get to the Sejuani ult. Jacob's going to follow up. And now the game has really started to swing, because now we have a great opportunity to jump in and get their base. Wow, that crit from MF did a lot of damage. So Penguin's going to run away, but we don't want to chase Penguin. We just want to get map presence out of this. He's going to have to go back and heal. So Penguin going back to base, and we want to get as much as we can. We're late in the game, 41 minutes. We can easily tank that turret, and we're going to look to go ahead, grab the inhib, and go from there. We maybe could have just tanked this top inhib as well. Could have been an option, but we were looking to bottom lane, and unfortunately that bot tower is actually still at full health, so we don't really want to fight any longer, because, well, yeah, we probably, we probably made a mistake there. We probably should have tanked the top tower and just taken top tower and inhib. We did have enough time to get that, and that actually would have helped us out quite a bit, because with top inhib down, Tryndamere wouldn't have been able to split push in top lane, or at least not very effectively. So that I'll go so far as to say that was a mistake. It would have been a little risky, but we did have the time to get that top tower. For whatever reason, we were looking to bottom lane. I'm not exactly sure why we were looking to bot. But yeah, that was something we could have done better. But it would have just would have made things a lot easier, because getting the second inhib it usually is very difficult to come back from a second inhib being down. Anyway, let's look at Electrik's build. Electrik's on a full build, 6 items right now. Has finished a Warmogs for the last item for health, and with the Guardian Angel, that's actually a pretty smart decision. Guardian Angel, because Guardian Angel doesn't give health, it only gives armor, magic resist, and the revive from death passive. So it combines really well with items that give a lot of health. So that's makes the item work a lot better, because you're effectively getting more from that 50 armor and 40 magic resist. Electrik also has a double pot right now, red and blue pot, and an oracle. So apparently it's just run out of stuff to buy off of this stuff. And you can see the full build with the home guard boots, very, very strong, basically right at 400 AD on that attack damage. Anyway, what our team wants to do is we want to group and we want to shove bottom lane. Why bottom lane? Because Baron's down right now, so bot is the best lane to go after, while Baron's a non-factor. We want to go for bot, and we want to try to get that inhib. Our team was a little slow to group and push this bottom lane. We really should have done so much faster. Like, we honestly did not need to clear. We probably didn't need blue buff on Electrik with him already having, a blue pot, and we didn't really need to clear out the wolf camp or whatever, but we just need to group and go for bottom lane. But the time that we've lost has hurt us, because that's allowed Frost Cute Girl to go up the top lane and start split pushing as Tryndamere. So we're going to be forced into a decision here. We're going to have to either go back to stop Tryndamere, or we're going to have to continue pushing and look to just dive the rest of their team for these towers. So here we go. We got the straight setup. Again, Tryndamere in top lane, split pushing. Now right here, I'm going to look to engage, but I don't get a very good Sejuani ult. Nobody gets stunned. It's actually a waste of that ability, so not too good. But I mean, again, we either have to back to stop Tryndamere, or we have to go, and we have to go very, very hard on this tower. And that split push is forcing us into a very tough decision, but it looks like we're just going to fight, and this is really where it needed to use that Sejuani ult. But we get a great MF ultimate right here. We're going to be able, we just need to now turn this into some kills, so that's going to be 1 kill on Thresh. Nelmo is quite low. We're going to get him as well. And are we going to be able to get Penguin? No. We actually end up killing the clone there. So now we're on the towers, but Tryndamere is already on the inhib, so this is going to have to be quite a race. And we actually should not be wasting time on the inhib right now, because we already have an inhib down. We don't need to waste time. So anyway, Tryndamere is on the Nexus towers. We're on the Nexus towers. And this is turning into quite a base race right here. We've got 1 Nexus tower down. Tryndamere's got 1 Nexus tower down. Who is going to win the race between these two teams? We've got the Nexus tower down. Tryndamere is just a little bit slow, and we are going to come out on top about 4 seconds before Tryndamere would have taken the tower in bottom lane. So yeah, quite a finish on that game. But in the end, oh, can I scroll the screen? Yeah, I can't. Well, I can't see the health on the Nexus, unfortunately. All just came up a little bit short right there, but it was a very close finish, photo finish, if you will, there. Anyway, the reason why we highlighted Pantheon was Electrik played the game extremely well, finished 17-5-9 on the game. If you look at the gold, had the most gold on her team, just barely edging out Jacob the One's Akali, and their team had some great performances as well, whether it was High Legend and his 18k, Penguin Preacher with his just shy of 17k, and that monstrous Udyr. Igo Elmo was absolutely terrifying all through this game, even though he ended up 3-6-9, had a really nice game. So anyway, hope people enjoyed this. People have been requesting some Pantheon gameplay, and I hope that this one lived up to it, because this was one of the best games we played in our YouTube night games in quite some time. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Until next time, have a great week. I'll see you again soon.